Caucasus region is a crossroads of more than 50 ethnic groups and a variety of religious beliefs. Many of these populations have inhabited the region since ancient times. The World Forum on Intercultural Dialogue is currently being held in Baku, Azerbaijan, with religious and opinion leaders gathering to discuss problems relating to the relationship between different cultures and religions. Azerbaijan is one example of this Caucasian cultural mosaic, where ethnic and religious coexistence is a major concern.
There is a lot of tension that we capture when we look at issues of globalization and whether the homogenization of the global culture is something that is challenging in a way that people find threatening in their local communities and to their local identity. That's a very large part of the tensions we discern. So we have to explore how to be authentic in our own local identity within this greater context.
In the Caucasus, it is still possible to find extremely isolated communities. Euronews went to Kuglug, a village located at the altitude of 2,300 meters on the Azerbaijani side of the mountain range that divides Russia and the South Caucasus. The people from Kunalug belong to the Kitid minority and speak the Ketish language. Some also speak the Azerbaijani language. The village, with around 2,000 inhabitants, is the oldest and most remote in Azerbaijan and among the highest human settlements in Europe. The community are Sunni Muslims, living in a secular country with a majority of Shiite Muslims.
It's very important to preserve the history, the culture and the language of this specific ethnicity. Our ancestors lived here for 6,000 years. And it's important to show the world that we have such small minorities still living here.
Kunalug is located in the region of Kuba in northern Azerbaijan. It has recently gained a reputation as a trekker's paradise, and the people have started renting rooms to foreigners who like to get off the beaten track. Kiramizi Kasaba, meaning red settlement, is just across the river in the city of Kuba in the ancient Jewish district. The local inhabitants are known as Dayahudi, literally meaning the mountain Jews. They speak Jahuri, a language made up of 70% Farsi, with elements of Hebrew and Turkish. According to some sources, the Jewish community were brought to Azerbaijan by the Persians. They have lived alongside the Muslim people for many years. In this part, the Middle East conflict seems far away.
We know
that this conflict is temporary, whereas structurally the branches that come from the same root. We're the branches of this single tree, both Muslims and Jews. Here everybody understands that.
The Jewish community often meet to discuss local problems and the relationship with other communities. The leader of the mountain Jews, Boris Simanduev, is 80 years old and is used to dealing with the other religious institutions. Despite the mutual tolerance, the two communities do not mix. They simply coexist without any tension.
In 1995, I started working here as imam, and since that time I started cooperating for the improvement of relationships with the head of the Jewish community.
In Kuba's Red Settlement, there's very few marriages between Jews and Muslims. It's a very small percentage, but some mixed marriages do exist.
The Baku World Forum addressed some of the many challenges that arise in intercultural dialogue, from conceptual frameworks and governance to policy and practice. The event has also taken responsibility for delivering the global agenda on the dialogue among civilizations, which was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly in November 2001. Overall, the forum also hopes to convey the message that tolerance is possible. A difficult task considering the thousands of unresolved religious and ethnic conflicts still raging across the world, as well as in the Caucasus.